In spite of the tidal clamor of record financial exchange highs and low joblessness numbers, a more critical look uncovers that the US economy isn't quite as strong as it shows up. Behind the outer layer of these uplifting measurements is a tangled net that uncovers more huge issues for our economy. From wage stagnation and taking off purchaser obligation to rising abundance, imbalance, and disintegrating foundation, these inclinations make much more tricky reality than the shining insights show. Nonetheless, as we investigate 15 proofs that the US economy is more awful than we suspect, obviously settling center issues is basic for achieving long-haul prosperity. Economic conditions in the United States are deteriorating, with higher fuel prices and higher grocery shopping prices causing a significant increase in monthly bills. Despite officials claiming that inflation is subsiding and Americans are eating more than ever before, personal finances are deeply struggling, and a large portion of the population is not happy about the direction the nation is heading over the past 30 days. Consumers are not making loan payments in time, and Americans are becoming delinquent on their loans at a rate last seen in 2008, during the peak of the financial crisis. Credit card and auto loan delinquencies have reached the highest point in more than 10 years, which could prove to be another tripwire for the stock market. The rise in the number of people falling behind on their loans is an indicator that economic stress is beginning to overwhelm households as families struggle to make ends meet. The financial burden intensifies, creating a vicious cycle of debt and default. The commercial real estate crisis continues to escalate, with major Wall Street banks worried that landlords of vacant and struggling office buildings won't be able to pay off their mortgages. Financial institutions have begun offloading their portfolios of commercial real estate loans in an attempt to cut their losses. The commercial property market has been hurt by high interest rates, making it harder to refinance loans, and low occupancy rates for office buildings as remote working continues to grow in popularity. Hundreds of bank branches are being shut down this summer, and when these companies get into trouble, they start to cut costs wherever possible. In the first 3 weeks of June, U.S. banks closed 51 branches across the country, and more than 400 locations have gone dark this year. Banks are trying to increase their online presence and offer costly brick-and-mortar leases. 4 more job losses are being reported, with a truck and logistics company abruptly shutting down, affecting 2,000 workers just 3 weeks after being bought by private equity. Staff at U.S. Logistics Solutions were given news that they were out of a job and would not receive their paychecks. The loss of large contracts, such as a $30 million deal with Barnes & Noble, led to the company's demise on Monday. The rising cost of living has forced many popular restaurant chains to make difficult decisions to survive the ongoing crisis in the industry. Hooters, a sports bar chain, closed dozens of underperforming restaurants across the country, joining a growing list of companies facing the harsh realities of inflation and shifting consumer habits. The company said in a statement that the restaurant is one of several dining chains facing tough times as the rising cost of living takes hold of consumers and forces them to change their spending habits. 6 retail chains are going to burst at a staggering rate. Barb Stores, which sells athletic and casual clothing and outdoor gear, filed for Chapter 11 protection, citing a DAT of $1 million to PNC Bank Plus and another $27 million in unpaid rent and other debts. In May, the retailers announced plans to lay off 150 staff at their headquarters in Meriden, Connecticut, and shutter dozens of stores. The cost of gas is 45% more expensive than in January 2021, when it cost only $238 per gallon to fill up. Mortgage rates on a 30-year fixed loan have shot up to an average of 6.99% this month from 2.77% in January 2021, a 152% increase according to Freddie Mac. Housing costs are now up 47% compared to 2020 levels, with the average payment now 5 times higher than the median household income. 20 million homeowners are now burdened by their monthly payments, and insurance premiums have increased by 21%. Property taxes are also rising, making housing affordability further out of reach for many potential buyers. The U.S. economy is currently experiencing a slowdown, with 58% of Americans deeming the economy weak, while 34% believe it is on the right track. This has led to a drop in consumer confidence, with the Conference Board's latest index declining to 100.4 from a revised level of 101.3 in May. A survey by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics found that over a third of respondents are concerned about making ends meet in the next 7 to 12 months. The Dallas Fed Services Index has been in negative territory for over 2 years, and the Federal Reserve's recent announcement of no rate cuts in the near future is concerning due to the immediate and lag effect it could have on the economy. Many clients in various industries are increasingly concerned about freezing prices, with many reducing spending, as the primary reason is economic stagnation locally and nationally affecting their businesses. Financial experts have revealed that 15 million small businesses are teetering on the brink of disaster, with close to half of all workers in the United States employed by small businesses. A new study uncovered that over 2/3 of these businesses are terrified of the state of the economy under Joe Biden's watch, fearing that current conditions and ongoing downward trends will lead to them having to close their businesses. A poll from the Job Creators Network Foundation showed that 67% of small business owners maintained such fears about the economy today, marking a 10-point increase from 2 years ago, the Shannon area and the United Kingdom. However, for Colombians, they still need a visa to enter the US and the UK. It highlights the increasing number of people leaving Canada due to factors such as high costs of living, a lack of innovation, and the increasing popularity of other countries. As a result, the government suggests that countries like Canada and the US should consider addressing these issues to maintain their economic growth and attract talent to their countries. The Canadian passport system has become more attractive to immigrants, especially talented immigrants who are willing to move to countries like Dubai, Singapore, or Europe. However, this is not enough to save Canada, as people are realizing they have more options. In the first 6 months of last year, 42,000 people left Canada, equivalent to nearly 4 million people leaving the United States. For the full years 2022 and 2021, the numbers were almost 94,000 and almost 86,000 respectively. Canada has an annual immigrant acceptance rate of roughly 500,000, but not all of them show up. In recent years, for every 5 people coming in, 1 leaves. This is due to the fact that Canadians are not going to be able to replace themselves for the rest of this century. Cracks are starting to show in a big way, not replacing themselves with immigrants. Trained immigrants are increasingly wanting to come to Canada, but the deal is not there. There are many other places that Canadians might not have traveled to, such as Bulgaria, Malta, or elsewhere. There are so many options that Canadians may not realize that someone from Bulgaria or Malta would prefer to go there. Natural-born Canadians are also likely to leave because they realize the deal is not there. If they decide to leave Canada and watch the plays go down the tubes, they can choose to live where they're treated best and keep more of their money. It is becoming increasingly clear that Canada is heading in the wrong direction, and it is uncertain if anything will stop it until it hits rock bottom. Although there are no intentional disturbance in Canada at this time, there are some basic issues that need to be fixed to protect society's desires. A complex and maybe deadly scenario results from social developments, political struggle, financial anomalies, native rights, and natural concerns. Through careful and all-encompassing oversight, Canada may be able to recognize and overcome these obstacles, guiding a more equitable and friendly community. This will improve long-term harmony and soundness and help to lower the possibility of agitation. So, what are your views on the present conditions in Canada? Do share your views in the comment section below. If you enjoyed watching the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.